Hey guys, Trainer DC here, coming at you with another video. It's been a year since the announcement of Pokémon Legends Z-A, and we've all been anxiously awaiting the next batch of news for this new game. And today is Pokémon Day, being February 27th of the year 2025, and we finally got that new announcement. And today in this video, I wanted to go over all of the new details about Pokémon Legends Z-A, as well as going over just my thoughts on this whole situation as a whole, as it's very unprecedented for the Pokemon Company and for Game Freak to announce a game and then say nothing about it for a year. Usually when they announce a game on Pokemon Day on February 27th, we won't hear about it for maybe a couple months. You usually get your next batch of news in May or June, and then we'll get that game that fall. But this is the first time ever we've got an entire year without them saying anything about a game. It's like as if they forgot they announced it. So we're going to get into all of that today. First and foremost, we're going to go through the website here because there are additional details that weren't shown in the trailer, and there's pieces of the trailer I do want to take a look at. The first thing though that you can see here, which is on your screen, is when this game is coming out. Pokemon Legends Z-A releases in late 2025, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit surprised to be seeing. I thought this game would have been coming out, as the leaks and rumors had indicated, between April and July of this year. I thought this would be a game that has a cross-gen launch between Switch 1 and Switch 2, but no, it looks like this is your holiday release for this year, being 2025, meaning this is probably the only Pokemon game we're getting this year, because I know there was speculation on my part last year and on other people's parts as well that Gen 10 would come out this fall, but it looks like that is not happening. It looks like Gen 10 will be announced on Pokemon Day in 2026, and maybe we'll talk about that and all the implications that come from that in another video. But yeah, so here we have a trailer for Pokemon Legends Z-A, and obviously the first thing right off the bat we can see is the starters for this game. The starters for this game, surprisingly, are Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile. So we're getting two starters from the Johto region and a starter from Unova in Tepig as well. Obviously, this is not what people were expecting, given that I think most people were expecting some combination of Snivy, Piplup, and another fire starter in there, maybe Scorbunny, to be the three starters for this game. I think this actually does have some implications here. If you guys recall, for Pokemon Legends Arceus, our starters were Oshawott, Rowlet, and Cyndaquil, starters from Johto, Unova, and Alola respectively. So the fact that they're going back to complete the Johto trio here, because presumably these three Pokemon are going to receive regional evolutions, regional variants. So the fact that they're going to complete the Johto trio, Cyndaquil got its regional form in Hisui, these two are going to be getting theirs in Kalos, in Totodile, and Chikorita. Obviously Oshawott got their regional variant in Hisui, Tepig's going to get one in Kalos. I can presume, and honestly my expectation is going to be, whatever the next iteration in the Legends series is, whatever that next game is going to be, I think that we're going to see the starters be Snivy, so Snivy gets its own form just like Tepig and Oshawott are, and then the final two Alola starters in Poplio and Litten. I think that will be your starter trio for whatever the next Legends game is, but again, that's going to be quite some time away, given that we're anticipating Legends Z-A coming out later this year. So this is interesting here. This is something exclusive to this site that we didn't have in any of the videos. We have a little bit of a quote about Lumiose City, saying the story is set in Lumiose, where an urban redevelopment plan is underway to shape the city into a place that belongs to both people and Pokemon. Compared to Lumiose City as it appeared in Pokemon X and Y, released in 2013, more greenery now adorns the city alongside facilities with cutting-edge feel. So yeah, one thing that I haven't touched on yet, but as you can see with this image here, and as well as the text we have here, Lumiose City's urban redevelopment plan is taking place in the modern day. Like, as you can see in this trailer here, this is a modern day Lumiose City. We are not going to the past in this game, as I think many people thought we were going to in Pokemon Legends Z-A. No, we are not. We are seemingly playing this game after the events of Pokemon X and Y, which is rather interesting to be seeing. Back to the website real quick, we have a map here, which we have a bigger version right here. You can see this is the map of our Lumiose City. If we zoom in a little bit, we can see that there's not really a ton to make out here with this map. I mean, you can see that it's essentially Lumiose City, like we all remember it, with some Pokemon thrown about it. My one concern with this game when it was first announced, and I still have this concern today, is what exactly are we going to be doing in this big city? Like, is there going to be enough going on, enough Pokemon running around to make this this game fun, because obviously Legends Arceus, we had Pokemon running around throughout the entirety of the game, and that just seemingly isn't going to be the case here in Pokemon Legends Z-A. The Pokemon are going to be in what they call these wild zones, as you can see here. Essentially, these are the areas that Pokemon are going to be inhabiting. I assume the rest of the city is just going to be a city, exactly that, with just people walking around it. That's my one concern here with this game, is hopefully there is enough to do outside of these wild zones, because how big are these zones actually going to be? Gameplay wise, as you can see here, it does look very different, honestly, from Legends Arceus from an aesthetic point of view. This game, gameplay wise, we'll get into the battling system in a little bit, also looks pretty different. But yeah, that's what we have here so far. If we move back to the website, we have some images of the game, which, you know, are shown throughout the trailer. This one in particular looks pretty interesting. We can see that Badoo and also the Pat Rat line is essentially confirmed for this game. And again, my concern with how big are these areas, you can see in the background there's like these green aura, these green spokes that I guess are preventing the Pokemon from leaving the area. Those are present in this trailer too, right here. So I'm curious, how large are these areas going to be? And honestly, I'm a little concerned. If we look at the mini map over here, it doesn't look like it's that big, but again, we're going off of not very much right now. We need to see more of this game before we can absolutely for sure say how big it is. But yeah, there's some other images here as well. Now here we got the story begins. So now we know exactly how we're getting to Lumiose, why we're in the Kalos region. Apparently we are on a sightseeing trip. While visiting Lumiose City during your travels, you'll come to stay in an old hotel named Hotel Z. How fitting of a name. And I wonder who's running this hotel. This hotel will serve as your base as you and the new friends you'll meet in Lumiose tackle all sorts of incidents that will occur in the city. Here's an image of the outside of the hotel as well as an image of the inside of the hotel. It looks rather run down, which looks kind of cool. It kind of looks like a private, like, hidden detective agency, so I think that's rather neat. Inside the hotel, though, does not look run down at all. It looks rather nice, and I guess we might as well get into now who is running this hotel. And as we saw in the trailer, if I can find the sequence they showed it, here's who's running the hotel. It's our old friend AZ and his Floette, and yeah, it looks like they're going to be the ones in charge of this new hotel, which is interesting. Again, that's our confirmation that this game's taking place after the original X and Y. Here's a bit more on the wild zones. Wild zones habitats for wild Pokemon as part of Lumiose's urban redevelopment plan. Driven by a large corporation called Quasartico Inc., the city has been outfitted with wild zones in an effort to help human and Pokemon share the city. These areas are constructed using cutting-edge technology to give Pokemon places to live. Within the wild zones, you can battle Pokemon and catch them by throwing Pokeballs. Of course, we have this image of what the wild zones look like as we saw in the trailer before. We also have some images of some Pokemon in the wild zones. They look rather nice. The game looks nice, right? Again, we'll get into this a little bit later, but my one big criticism of this trailer is we waited a year to see this, and quite frankly, they did not show us all that much. Make Pokemon your allies. You can catch wild Pokemon, which I guess, you know, this one we don't really need to read all that much. We can see, you know, you can catch wild Pokemon, you can battle them. We all know that. We've all played Pokemon before. This next one, though, is where things become interesting. A Pokemon series first. Pokemon and trainers take action in real time during battle. In previous titles in the Pokemon video game series, Pokemon took action once per turn. In Pokemon Legends Z-A, trainers and their Pokemon will move around in real time during battles, and Pokemon will unleash their moves when their trainers command them to. In addition to the type matchups, there will be new gameplay mechanics to consider, such as the precise timing for swapping out your Pokemon or using moves, the different lengths of time moves will take to launch, and how big of an area the moves will impact. This is an unprecedented style of gameplay that is going to be new to this game. Obviously, here we have some images of that. It looks rather interesting, but in the trailer itself, which we were looking at before, we can kind of get a better look of this here, where you see a Tepig and a Totodile going at it in battle. And essentially, it seems like, I don't know if we're controlling our Pokemon or it's, you know, they're doing it themselves, but they run around in battle. This looks like an anime Pokemon battle with Tepig trying to dodge, and you see all these different Pokemon. They're moving freely in the battlefield and actually attacking their opponents, and there's a range to the moves that they described in that text online. I think this looks neat. The only thing that I don't want to say rubs me the wrong way, but I'm not sure how I exactly feel about it, is this over here. You can see there's like a little diamond here that says Screech, Sand Tomb, Dig, and Rock Slide for Onix, and that's essentially your moves, right? That's your move pool that this Onix knows. We could see the same thing with the other Pokemon like Hippowdon or like with the Totodile before. I'm assuming these are mapped to A, B, X, Y or the D-pad potentially, and I'm just a little bit concerned with how this gameplay is going to be, because I am personally not a fan of your RPGs that have just auto battling and then you just press a button every so often to have your player, your character do certain moves. So I'm curious to see how that translates to in this game. Of course, it's a Pokemon game. I'm sure they're going to Pokemonize it, if that makes sense. I'm sure it's going to be something cool. And that's my one concern, is I need to see how this plays, a little bit more of that, because I am generally not a huge fan of gameplay like that, but we'll again have to wait and see what that all looks like in the final game. We have your characters. I'm just going to go through this quickly. Pokemon and trainers, your characters. These are who we're going to be playing as. We went through the first Pokemon already: Chikorita, Tepig, Totodile. Here are the characters we're going to meet. Here's our rival, either Urbane or Tawny. It says here, you'll make a friend who lives and works at Hotel Z, supporting the owner however they can. They may come on strong at times, but they like helping people in Pokemon. They're quite skilled at Pokemon battles too. The appearance you choose varies on who you choose in your game, so I'm assuming if you choose the male character, maybe you'll get the female version of the rival. If you choose the female character, maybe you'll get the male version, of vice versa. They'll do something along those lines. As we can see, the models are rather similar. Honestly, at first I didn't know these were different characters. When I saw them in the trailer, I thought it was the same person, just different hairstyles. AZ, by the way, real quick, looks phenomenal in this game. The way they stylized him, absolutely perfect. Love it. AZ is a man who stands over 9 feet tall. He's the owner of Hotel Z and claims to be over 3,000 years old. I wonder if that is true or not. We know from X and Y it is. He quietly harbors a strong determination and, well, not much there. The Eternal Flower Floette is in this game, which is our confirmation that this takes place after X and Y, because obviously at the end of X and Y they reunite. I am curious if finally, after 12 years of waiting, are we actually going to be able to obtain an Eternal Flower Floette? I'd have to guess probably. I hope so, at least. That'd be rather cool. Maybe it's some like battle bond trainer type thing, like with Ash Greninja. That'd be pretty awesome. Here we have Jet. Jet is the CEO of Quasartico Inc., a large corporation driving Lumiose's urban redevelopment plan with the aim of shaping the city into one that belongs to people and Pokemon. It seems she hopes to deepen the bonds between Pokemon and people. Don't really have much to say about Jet. It's the new potential evil leader, maybe, sort of. Who knows? We don't really know what Jet is going to be doing in this game exactly, if the Quasar organization, or Quasartico I should say, if they're good, bad, if they're, Team Flare like Lysander was in the original X and Y, where he was supposedly a good guy, but we all knew the whole time, yeah, he's a bad guy. Then we have Vinny. Vinny is a large man who wears sunglasses. He works at Quasartico as Jet's secretary. He always seems busy and has a reputation for being a fast worker. I just noticed something about his character model. That's a Pancham and a Lopunny, or Baneri I should say, in his hair. That's kind of a neat touch they have there. That's pretty cool. The legendary Pokemon Zygarde. Not much to say here. We all know what Zygarde is. We all know and love Zygarde. It's going to be somehow involved in this game. What could its connection to the story be? I don't know. We'll find out as this game comes out. Last but not least, I believe on this webpage we have the power of Mega Evolution. I'm not going to go through all this because we know what Megas are, but we do have the confirmation and some really cool images here of Mega Gyarados being in this game. We have the confirmation of all these Megas so far. Mega Charizard X, Y, you can see on screen. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more than that, if not all of the Megas that we had from X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but we'll have to wait and see on all of that. As I said before, I just feel like after a year's worth of waiting, the fact that this is all they showed us is kind of disheartening to me. Like, I was really hoping we'd see at least 1 to 2, maybe even 3 new Megas, maybe a couple new Pokemon teased or shown off to us. Maybe we see new Colosian forms in this trailer, but yet this is really all we got. And while it's great to finally see gameplay of this, it's great to get the starter confirmation, it's great to get confirmation of when this game is taking place and all that good stuff. It's great to be seeing all of this, but at the same time, it's like we waited a whole year. I haven't been making videos on this channel because there's been nothing to talk about at all whatsoever, because this game just straight up hasn't been discussed. They haven't really touched on it, and they finally decided to discuss it, and we get this reveal that we got without really telling us all that much. I would have liked just a little bit more, given how long we've actually been waiting for this game to just be showcased in any form or fashion, and I'm a bit disappointed that it's coming out at the end of the year. I thought this would be a game that came out sooner. My question really is, I kind of don't understand why they announced this last year. Like, to me, it really just seems like this game could have just been announced this year, and we didn't really need to have a Pokemon Day announcement last year. I mean, it was fun fun to speculate on this game. It was fun knowing about it, but I just feel like waiting a whole year to hear more about this game kind of just like, it just rubs me the wrong way a bit. I don't know how else to put it. It's just like we don't know much more than we knew, 5 hours ago. All we know now with this game is, yeah, we've seen our gameplay. We know it's taking place in the present or after X and Y, which is something people were speculating on. We know the starter Pokemon. We know some of the characters, but that's pretty much it. We didn't learn all that much else other than obviously the battle mechanics and gameplay is going to be a little bit different from your typical Pokemon game. But outside of that, that's pretty much all we got. And again, I would have hoped for a little bit more. I would have hoped for a few new Megas, a few new Pokemon maybe a regional form or two, because that's something we don't know as well. Are there going to be regional forms in this game? Is it just going to be Mega Evolutions that we're getting? Presumably we're going to get new Pokemon, but maybe not. We didn't get any sort of teaser for that A legendary, as I discussed last year in some videos on this channel. It's called Pokémon Legends Z-A. That A stands for something, and we really don't know what that is. And it would have been nice to get a little more in this trailer today. My one concern I will say before signing off is how long do they wait before showing this game again? Is it going to be that we're waiting till May or June now before we get another trailer for this game or another look at it? If they do that, that is a horrible move because we've had to wait a year already to get what we got now. So hopefully we see something sooner than that. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, for now, this is all we got. It looks cool, but I'd like to see a bit more than that. And hopefully we see more in the near future. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think of our first extended look at Pokemon Legends Z-A? Are you excited for this game, or are you a bit disappointed like me that this is all we got? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from Trainer DC. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.